What up, y'all? Playing multi-tabling here, um, some PLO, and I just made a kind of bad pre-call flop here. I didn't see. I thought I had one suit here, but we flopped a full wrap and a middle pair. He's raising, so thing is we have the right equity against him if he has a set, but most of the time he's going to have a set here. So we're just going to call, and if the board pairs, get away on the turn, but if not, get it in. Okay, and now we have the nuts, so hopefully he doesn't pair up on the river. And then over here we've got aces, but we'll go back to this and just jam. And he has, oh wow, he just has 3 pair, and we're good. All right, cool, nice. That worked out very well. Welcome back. I've been gone for like 10 years from poker, but been making my way back a little bit. Obviously, kind of grinding small stakes right now. Playing some. I first came back playing live because back in the day, basically, I played a lot of PLO online, like at like 1, 2, 2, 4 level, mostly, and was a like a decent winning player, like not great, but like decent. This is just a fold. Yeah. Um, and and but yeah, oh, actually we'll go over here. Um, I made okay. Yeah, I did decently at those stakes online, and then but basically I was interested in coming back and playing some live PLO because I had never really played it back in the day when poker was running like in the early 2000s to like around 2009 or whatever, because I never played it live because they didn't really spread like lower stakes live anywhere like around the LA area, which is where I live. And so I realized one day, oh yeah, the bike and the like I had just given up poker more or less for a long time, just because once online went away, and I like mostly just like playing online for the vast majority because I didn't like driving to the casinos where they were. Like I realized, oh, the casino is actually pretty close to my house or to my work, not to my house. So like I already commute for work and I'm already out there. I was like, I could just go after work someday and I could play PLO because they actually have spread PLO live at low stakes now. I don't know why I realized that. I think I started like watching some YouTube like PLO videos or something like that, and like just getting a hankering to want to play. And I was like, oh, okay, so I'll go play live. And yeah, the live games in LA were just like extremely soft at PLO. A lot of people, a lot of newer players, especially at the low stakes. I mean, the lowest stakes that there are, like whatever they are, like 1, 2, 1, 3, those kind of stakes. But yeah, just like extremely soft. And so like I played like maybe 8 sessions, 8 to 10 sessions or so between the commerce and the bike, and pretty much crushed. I had like one decently big losing session where I lost like still only like 2.5 buy-ins, and then like one where I lost, where I was like one session where I was essentially break even the whole time, and then every other session I at least won some and mostly won big. And yeah, so like that guy kind of got me back into wanting to play, and then I tried to figure out, well, I'm like, can you not play anywhere online? But you can at America's Card Room. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll just deposit here and play some PLO. Also some low stakes tourneys and stuff, and just like try to get back in and start getting the feel. I raised this over one limper who's like very bad, and I like to ISO in position. This Bento guy. We'll just, you can check back here, but I'm gonna just see bet for value against these guys. Pumpster is actually a massive, huge punter, so I just want to bet for value against him. He'll call like pretty wide here. If he check raises though, he spews really hard, but he doesn't like necessarily check raise bluff a lot on flops like this. So I would be slightly worried even if he check raise bluffed. All right, we got a nice hand over here. King 10 9 8 double suited against the small. We'll probably 3-bet if he opens. Almost, I mean, we will 3-bet if he opens. Okay, we get a walk, which is weird. Very rare in PLO to get a walk. But we do. Queen 10 10 3 out of position, not very good. Only one suit. But if it folds to us and we're against a big blind who I know is passive and kind of weak bad, I'm just going to raise it. and we'll play it. If he 3-bets us, we can pretty comfortably fold. He doesn't 3-bet that much. He doesn't know what he's doing. So like most of his 3-bets will be like, value hands, which have us crush, ace ace xx or king king xx. So here I'm just going to c-bet. I just wanted to get his non-ace x hands to fold their equity, and some of his like jack jack xx hands or something to fold, and then also like we give ourselves a chance to bank on the turn. With his stack size, I'm just going to give up here, and we'll go over here. We get min 3-bet, which is always nice. Whammy's very bad too, and then overcalled by the min 3-bet. Back over here, the 10s might actually be good against like deuce 5 or something, so but I'll let you know. Here we're just going to call the 3-bet with our double suited hand, which is okay. Flop a gutter and 2 backdoor flush draws. Probably just check folding if there's a big pot bet. We'll see. Goes half. I mean, we have the gutter and 2 backdoors, so against half, and we're fairly deep, like we're over. Okay, but this is easy. Now we have it insta fold, obviously. I actually think that sometimes we win here. Yeah, we do. Okay, I think he might have got his 2-5 counterfeited or something. Yeah, they had top 2 over on this, or this guy had top 2 and this guy had a wrap and he missed. Overpair and a wrap and he missed. Well, we had a lot of his outs. We were blocking a lot of his outs, so sorry there, pal. But yeah, that wasn't so bad from either of them. But Pumpster especially is just like a really, really spazzy, like spewy player. Whammy is also kind of bad. You can see like min 3-betting in position against an open. Not good, not good. Okay, we got a nice playable hand over here. Suit is to the queen, which is not as good, obviously, as when it's to the king. You prefer it to be to the king. You want big nutted or close to nutted suits. Okay, we're in position against Whammy. Audi is kind of a nit, so like, but obviously with that sort of hand, we don't hate a single 3-bet from it because we can still profitably call. This session has been really swingy. It's been like crazy. There was a reg who I had notes on as being kind of like sort of laggy, but like still mostly straightforward. And he just went. He must have went on monkey tilt, or he's just like way like worse than I thought, because he like started 3-bet and 4-betting like rags and like playing extremely bad. And then we got in a spot where there was a short stack in between 3-ways, and like I open short stack flats. This guy 3-bets me, and he's been 3-betting an absolute ton. I have like mediocre kings, so I'm not folding against him, and we're pretty deep stacked. Like I think we have over like over 250 big blinds, he and I. So we're like very deep, so I can win a lot if I flop. And like I said, they're not great kings, but I could still set mine with them deep in position against them pretty much. And I flat the smaller stack in between just jams, and like I think first of all, I don't think he has aces very much either, so I think I'm ahead of his range. But even if he does, he has a very small stack, so the main stack will be the pot between me and the other guy. And then it comes back to the other guy who just flats, and I know like 100% sure he's jamming there if he has aces. So I know the kings are good pre. So then I can get like basically I think it was like 45% of stacks in pre if I just jam there, or if I pot. So I pot just to get like all the money in when I know I'm ahead. He flats for the 45% stack. I think it comes like 7-5-3 or no, that's not right. It comes 7-4-3, and he has Jack 9-8-6. So he had a pure, and then he open jams the rest of his money on the flop. So he had pure gutter and just like 2 pair draws on the flop. So we had, even after the flop, we have him in very good shape, or bad shape, and he doesn't have backdoor diamonds either. I think he had 3 diamonds. Anyways, long story short, he gets there, and we were blocking a 5 too. So he has only 3 direct outs to beat us, and we had one of our side cards was a 5 with our king. So yeah. Anyways, and that was like a massive pot. And then the very next hand, he 3-bets an opener. I have ace ace xx single suited, so I cold 4-bet him for like to get like 30% of my stack in pre, which is going to be profitable no matter the flop. Flop comes. He had Jack 9-8-6 again too, which was hilarious. I forget what the flop comes, but he flops pretty big though. He flops a rat or at least an open ender and a flush draw against my bare aces, and he takes it. So it's pretty gross. And that was for like I said, like it was for a long chip. So anyways, long story short, that like was a big swing where I had had my stack up to like 100 something on that table, and then like lost it all, like 125 or something, and lost it all to him. We turned the nut flush draw and a gut shot and top pair, so could have c-bet that. Oh, I didn't realize how short he was. I need need to pay attention better. But we've got the nuts now, and he's gonna have some straights that he won't fold like this short, so we're just gonna shove the rest. Don't want him to check back, obviously, and he'll have some flushes that he backdoored too, like that one. So don't want to let him show that down. Although I think he would mostly. I mean, I think he's gonna value shove all his own flushes anyway, so you can check to him and then also get some bluffs into his range by checking to him. Okay. All right. Now at this table, question is, do I want a 3-bet in position because he's min opening? Like, and I don't think he min opens aces very often, so we're not going to get 4-bet very often at all. So it's pretty good to take control here in position with a nice double suited hand. I mean, not a great double suited hand, obviously, but reasonable. I'm just going to check back here. We don't fear too many turn cards, like an ace only, pretty much, and even that, like, not super badly. So and obviously we want to control the size of the pot when he does have a 7, which won't be, you know, it's not unreasonable, obviously, for him to have a 7. Okay, this is a fold over on this other table. If he checks now, though, we're going to bet. Yeah, we're just going to bet for protection at this point against like flush draws and stuff like that. And now he's pretty unlikely to have a 7. Go like 3/4 pot or something. Check raise would be gross, obviously. He has some ace queens or something too that are beating us, in addition to 7s. Some kings, I guess, too. So it's not like we have like the stone nuts or anything close to it, but seems like we have the best hand by the turn, so we'll just go and bet. All right. I open this, or I open this first in, and it's a pretty bad flop out of position to a guy who like is pretty loose bad, like calls a lot. I'm just gonna check. We're gonna have we have not a single diamond. It's just like a good board to give up on. We can turn our hand into a bluff on ace turn sometimes. Like we have some like ace x hands, but actually I'm just gonna check here too. There's a lot better hands that we can be betting, and we river a set of 8s, and it doesn't really look like anyone had a flush draw, but most, you know, like it's very easy for someone to have a low flush draw and just be playing it to try to get to showdown cheaply. So it looks like we win now when it checks through though, so I don't really see value betting there. That's like kind of too thin, obviously. Cool. But yeah, anyways, been away from poker for a while. Starting to get back into the groove a little bit. Just at like low stakes live, which are like definitely higher than this. But then on America's Card Room also low stakes for that. Okay, so we got hands on both these tables here. We got aces and ace queen, king, 10, 3 clubs. All right, so let's see what happens. We'll start here. We're gonna 3-bet this guy in position. Just 3-bet him recently, so it looks better. I'll let you know what happens on the ace king queen 10 hand. And we've got one suit. It's good. If it's just like if it was, oh, I got to walk with that other hand. Holy crap, that sucks. I mean, it's not a big deal. Like it's PLO, so nothing like is really dominating most of the time. But all right, interesting. We do have the nut spades, so makes it like harder for him to have like a big flush draw, at least like a flush draw that he loves. But in a 3-bet pot, that is harder to use to your advantage to a certain extent, because like if he has a lower flush draw and makes it, he's never folding. But sometimes, I mean, it's not true. Like sometimes he will fold, but it's pretty rare, especially at these stakes. Like in a 3-bet pot, if someone flops a flush draw, like they're not folding it first of all, and then if they get there, they're not folding it. But your ace of spades just makes the combos that they have that contain a flush draw like less, basically, right? So that's a decent spot to see that. This is like not a great double suited hand. Sometimes I'll flat it, sometimes I'll 3-bet it, but most of the time I'll just fold it because it's kind of trouble. I'm on the button obviously, so it's questionable, but I think it's a fold. These aces we can open, not great aces, really hard to play post when you don't flop a set. And we have, that's very weird. Obviously, if you had the ace of diamonds here, it would be a very good spot to either float or raise. But without the ace of diamonds and no ways of improving, I'm just going to fold to a donk for 2/3 pot. Yeah, so, okay, got a hand here. And been grinding some tourneys too, and seems like the tourney game is extremely soft on this website, at least at the lower stakes, which I'm playing right now. So that's good to keep grinding that too, and some of that. Wow, that's a great flop for this hand. So we're three-handed, and this is an extremely bad flop for us, so I'm pretty much just giving up, unfortunately, with such a nice hand. Fifth spade. Make it the king of spades on the river. That'll be nice. Then we might win. Because then it makes it less likely anyone has spades and we'll have a set. But no, I'm not banking on that at all, obviously. But yeah, like, so this is just a kind of standard. Back in the day, I did some streaming of my, or not streaming, they didn't have that back then. And this isn't streaming, this is just me recording. But I did some recordings of me playing online where it was only screen capturing and it didn't have video. You know, back 10 years ago, when I was a decently winning like poker player on Poker Stars at MTTs mostly. And yeah, anyways, I'm not gonna turn this into a bluff. It's just like not worth it. Like some weird two pair is gonna win, very likely. And if he bets like maybe a little flush that was full playing the whole time, or a straight now, more likely that like is making a thin value bet. Yeah, and so just trying to get my way back into the game, and obviously I think recording and talking about the game sometimes is helpful for your own play and getting feedback and interacting with other players. So I want to do that. I have a Twitch channel. I'll put that in the description. I think my name is The Illegit on there. So if you want to check that out, I'll stream sometimes. I'm just getting into it, so I don't really have it all down yet. But anyways, I think I'm going to 3-bet this. I just saw though that the suits, like obviously this is a much better hand when it's the king of hearts and the ace of spades, rather than, because then you have two high flush draws. Right now we only have one high flush draw, and the 10 high flush draw is not worth that much. So yeah, so that's a more questionable 3-bet, but it's still reasonable. And he even folded to a 3-bet, which is pretty rare. So. Okay, over here we'll just be defending our jacks. Yeah, mostly set mine. It's against a min raise. Against a full 3x, I would probably just fold a lot, and no suit, and the suit being only to the jack. But against a min raise, you can definitely defend this and play it for set value. Sometimes for flushes, depending on, you know, like there's not too much action when you hit the flush. This guy's only betting 1/3 pot. Could have the best hand. Clubs could be good. I'm going to call for a 3rd pot. Sometimes though, obviously he's betting big, like, or betting small because he's super nutted, like queen 7, queen queen. But most of the time it's a probing bet, like to try to see where he is, and sometimes it's even worse hands than jacks. But could be like kings or something. Pumpster is the guy who's a very big spewer. But also this is a weird bet. I think it's mostly draws actually. I don't think it's mostly better hands the way he's played it so far. So we're gonna call again, and we're blocking. Like some of our flush draws are better. Unfortunately, like I do think he picks up straight draws on the turn and then bets them. So like this does hit some of his range, and we're blocking him having clubs, so it's less likely he has clubs for bluffs. So we'll see if we can just show it down. And yeah, we do. See, that's exactly the sort. I mean, he had two pair. He does this all the time. I saw him do this like just earlier. It was ace ace 9 8, and he was betting the turn full pot against 3 players with 9 8 XX. I don't know if he thinks that's a good hand. Like I literally am not sure if he knows how to read the board. Like obviously there he had blockers to people having full houses, so maybe he's just thinking about it like that way, and or having full houses, and but obviously the key card is the queen and he doesn't have that, and he has just like a low flush. But yeah, he just like probes a lot on the turn with like weird stabby bets. that a lot of times are not making that much sense. So yeah, I just thought the jacks were good, and I thought the flush draw might be good, and indeed both were. So, alright, this is a double suited hand, but like it's not has very bad connection. Like a lot of people like to see the ace of spades and like okay play it, but no, that sort of hand you should fold. Like you want multi components to the hand, multiple components to the hand, and this only has essentially one component, which is the high suit. So that's not really good. Yeah. And then here we raise, flop a gutter and some backdoor draws. I'm going to c-bet. C-bet 2/3 pot. Generally on these tables, like if you want any fold equity, you have to make your c-bet slightly bigger. Like third pot c-bets, which I sometimes would make on like bigger stakes tables. Like they just get floated like way too much if you make them here. So I do like to like size up a little bit on my c-bets and my two barrels. Don't like to go super small that often. Alright, well, we backdoor into a flush. He just calls. I think he's like very bad, but could still be slow playing a full house. I extremely doubt it. Sometimes he has a 5, but most of the time we're going to win. But also, like, we're not getting called by worse if we bet very. So I feel like it's better to check there and just and try to fade a big bet. If he bets small or something, we could still call, but. Yeah, it's not good enough to like induce a bluff per se, but like yeah, just a weird spot a little bit. So, yep, just streaming on a Wednesday night here. I was in a tournament and I was gonna like record that if I got deep, and but I basically bubbled. Like I ran up a stack early. I was like the chip leader for a long time at the beginning, and then just went all into crap. Like went terribly. And then ended up just like eventually shoving and losing late. I shoved king 10 suited on the button, a very easy shove on like 8 blinds, and lost to the big blind who had ace 9. Alright, and here we got a decent hand. Open that. Pumpster is the player we like to play against, and he's 3-betting, and it's less than full, so like but we're like 200 bigs deep. Like I don't think he has like he has aces extremely rarely. Like you could 4-bet this for value. I'm not going to though. I want to keep the size of the pot manageable. Okay. And now like he checks back a lot after 3-betting, so I'm gonna actually donk into him and expect him to float a lot on the smaller side. Oh wow, he actually snap folded. That sucks. But yeah, like it's a pretty dry board, so it's hard for him to have anything. But I feel like after 3-betting, or I don't just feel it, I know like he's very prone to like just not fold, even though he did in that instance. So that was like very bad. But like he also after 3-betting just doesn't c-bet that much unless he has it or has something that he thinks is good. So it's hard for him to have anything there, and I just want to start building the pot there. I don't want the flop to get checked through, so I still don't mind that so much, that lead necessarily. Okay, we defended here and flop a wrap, but there's a flush draw on board, so it's hard to play it like super aggressively, especially like this deep stack with the hearts out there. You do block one heart, but not that many. He goes full pot. We're going to at least call. I don't really think we can check raise with the hearts out. This sort of hand you can check raise sometimes when the hearts aren't there, right? Like because it has so much equity against so many hands. King's a bad card. And then over here we have a playable hand. We'll be defending. Okay, he goes full pot. Or no, wait, did he go full? No, he goes less than full, but still reasonably big here. And we still have a wrap. The thing is, like our outs are fairly well concealed, but and that's why I like calling in this spot, because when we do hit, it's less obvious than with hearts or with bigger or straight draws. He'll still be worried about it, obviously, but if we do hit here, I just think we'll get paid off a decent amount. It's a questionable call though, because we can't value bet the hearts if the hearts get there, obviously, like if we make a straight with the hearts. So I don't know about the call on the turn. Yeah, he was betting hearts, which is about what I thought, and he had 2 pair and hearts, which I like. If a heart came, I wasn't gonna invest that much. I probably was gonna fold even if it was a straight. So like I was definitely correctly worried about hearts, but if we make our straight, I just think like there's some like a better chance of getting paid off than normal. I raised this pre over his open limp. This guy's like kind of like loose passive or maybe even tight passive. I'm not exactly sure, but just not that great. Okay, we got really nice kings here, which is cool. We'll be opening and 200. Yeah, see, he's just always open limping. Seems very loose passive. We're gonna raise over him. Here we're just gonna fold. Got another. Well, I'll show you. I've got ace jack 9. Okay, we're getting 3-bet by the spaz, who's been 3-betting a lot. But the thing is, I don't know if I want to 4-bet this hand, even how nice it is. Okay, well, wow, this is kind of gross. Like, this guy has aces a fair amount, but like Punster has money behind to go with it. I feel like I want to call and try to stack him in the side. And then over here we flop top 2. We'll be going with. Guy's not very deep. Okay. All right, and he folded actually. So now we have to pretty much go with it on this board with our gut shot and our pair and all that stuff. So it kind of sucks actually. Hopefully he doesn't have diamonds, which he doesn't. Hopefully we get there. Fudge. Queen. All right, we did get there. That's good. All right, and down here we're going to raise. Oh man, I just raised small, like kind of instinctively because I was running out of time. This is bad. I should have just jammed pretty much, but whatever. If he calls, like, only really bad cards are king queen, king queen jack, so it's not the worst in the world. Okay, yeah, and then now we have a gut shot to go with our top 2, so we just jam now. Kind of weird. I'm pretty much never like min raising there, but probably like made me the maximum like with that turn card. But yeah, there's not that many bad turn cards either, so I guess it's okay to do that even like legitimately. But yeah, I would normally not play that hand. Yeah, it was kind of gross the way that went. Like the premium kings are just hard to fold when it's like you have connectivity and the double suitedness. And you're against a bad player who I was pretty sure would overcall the 4-bet like once I flat. So and then I would have a chance to win. Like even if I lose the main pot to the guy with aces, like on good boards I can get it in against him, the pumpster, like the spewster, and win the side pot and still then have a chance at the main pot, you know, like so. That was my thinking there. Jack 10 9 8 double suited, very nice hand over here. Get 3-bet by fairly, like, my note on him is that he's nitty and like he has been nitty, but we're like super deep. I almost want to 4-bet this sometimes, just as a semi bluff, because if he 5 balls, we're deep enough I could still call, but I'm just going to call. And this is a very bad board for us, obviously, against a 3-better who we have noted as a nit. I think he really is a nit, so it's like we have a lot of good like turn cards, but like I just think he's betting this almost always, and he has top set like a lot, or you know ace-x of diamonds a lot, which we're doing very bad against that range that has those hands in it prominently. He also has some bluffs, but honestly not that many, because his 3-bet percentage is very low pre. So like it's just full of ace-x hands. I mean, he did do it in position, and he's probably 3-betting some non-ace-x hands, but he's mostly doing those. All right, we got a hand here that's playable sometimes. I'm just gonna overcall it on the button. It's not a great hand, obviously. It's and get oversetted multi-way, but it also has some nuttiness with the nut suit and whatnot, but the small cards are in general pretty bad. When you're going to get multi-way action with it, though, it's alright. Alright, and then we're giving up over there. Here we bet flop after he raised small, and he check called flop. I don't think he has a 4 very often, so we're going to rep that here, and we also have obviously a draw to go with it if he calls again. We've got a wrap, and oh no, we already have the straight. I don't know what I'm talking about. Like I for some reason I thought we had turned a wrap. Okay. And then over here, anyway, take it down there with the under straight on a paired board. This guy, okay, we just have a gutter. I think he 3-bet pre. if we bink the gutter, we like win it all, but like with the spades out, and him betting on the bigger side when he doesn't necessarily always see bet, it's like some of our outs are tainted. Obviously, we're looking for better spots to try to stack him. But Pumpster is definitely like our target on this table. Crash Shooter is bad too, but he's like shorter stack, not quite as much of a target. Pumpster all the time. So he's the one who we mostly want to be playing pots with. What are the odds is like loose passive bad? So I'm glad we're in position against him because we can abuse his limps and like and just like take him to task post flop and pre flop. Okay, we flop, go down here, flop a wrap here, 6, 7, 8, and 10. Oh no, actually bigger than, yeah, we got like a huge wrap. Sorry, I just saw a 6, 7, 8 for a second. No, we got the mega wrap, right? Like 6, 7, 8, 10, queen, all straights. 9 is a very, very, very bricky card, but he doesn't have that many nines necessarily, and we can easily have jack 9, jacks. So we're just gonna barrel here as a semi bluff. If he check raises, we have a pretty easy fold on a paired board. It's pretty gross, obviously, in a way. I mean, you feel kind of gross about it because you're like, dang, look at that pretty wrap. But like when you get check raise, he just like always has a 9 or better, like practically. I mean, unless he's some kind of tricky player and you know he's tricky. So yeah, it's pretty easy fold. This hand with no suits is not that good. I like if it had one suit and to the king, I would 3-bet it on the button here a decent amount, but we're just gonna flat. Okay, and then over here I get 3-bet with a rundown. It's not a very great rundown, but we can play it multi-way with against the 2 very bad players. Gosh dang it! Now this is weird. Okay, well, and then we'll get back to that. I think I just have to fold this. Like it's like sucks because it's such a perfect rundown, and sometimes they both have aces. And we're in very good shape. Like I think what are the odds has aces like all the time. And yeah, okay. Well, Crash Shooter folded, so he didn't have aces. Like when Crash Shooter has aces, it sucks because like we're in very good shape when they both have aces, you know. All right. Anyways, we'll go back over here. I'll let you know what happens. Oh, well, we'll look at this pot first for a second. And okay, he just had kings. He didn't even have aces. We're betting though. Okay, and over here we're betting our full house again on the turn. Only, yeah, we have the nuts and we're blocking like even better nuts getting there. We sight and we bet it so that we could get a full pot shove in on the river. I think he has lots of queens that he now doesn't call because of the hearts, which sucks. But we just gotta hope that he has a full house or has something he can call. We're gonna jam. The hearts are like bad because he check called twice. Like I think he's got the case king a lot or case queen a lot when he check calls the turn. Um, like I don't think he's check calling with jack 10 king even, you know, wraps on the turn. Sometimes he has a flush draw, but if he does, then like you expect him to call off on the river. But no, I don't think he has a flush draw though. That's why the flush was bad, was because it's killing my action against the case queen. Yeah. Okay, this guy Pumpster. So Pumpster got what are the odds? So this guy 4-bet like pretty good queen kings though. So I mean, cold 4-bet, king XX double suited. Did he like limp? Cold, or did he do that from the blinds? I think it was from the blinds. I'm making a note. From blinds against aggro 3-better top all in post. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, look at that. That's a nice hand. Okay. Now we want that Pumpster. We want that Pumpster action right now. Or Crash Shooter. They're both very bad, but Pumpster is the one who's like willing to go like put in lots of money. We're super deep here. If he 3-bets me, I think I'm going to 4-bet. It really sucks when he 5-bets. It really sucks because if he 5-bets, he's just going to have it. Okay, well, we don't have to worry about it. Gosh dang it. You gotta be kidding me. Like, look at that flop. Look at this hand and look at that flop. So disgusting. But yeah, if we did, well, he's min donking. It's hilarious. Can we turn this with no clubs into a bluff? Let's try it. Why not? I just like owning min donks a lot. Yeah, it's a good spot. We have open ender. After this, if he calls though, I'm just giving up. Like it's just one time. Like he's min donking. He'll call. He's sometimes just min donking and folding. So I'll let you know. Okay, he checks. Now we're pretty much giving up. Um, yeah, it was just like a one shot at his like owning his donk. Seven of clubs. Seven of clubs is a good card because then like it just makes it harder for there to be clubs. He's got like clubs that he's trying to pot control with a decent amount now, or like 7-10 or something. And I don't think he's folding most of those. Certainly not the clubs. He's not folding at this point. So, yeah, 7-5. Yeah, that's actually that was more what I put him on, and I just don't think he's the type to fold. Sadly, at that point, that's what I put him on. So. All right, I see bet this flop and then check back turn. Now he's donking river. Like 4-5 is the only thing that gets there. So we have only a bluff catcher, obviously, but like, and 4-5 is some of his range, but there's also some missed flush draws. Um, and this like, and I like he could value bet king 10 or something, but like it's either king 10 or 4-5. I'm gonna call. Like there's enough misdraws that we can be good, and yeah, sure enough, like that's a weird spot, but like he just doesn't have much value. It's just either like 4-5 or maybe king 10. Because I see bet flop, so like almost all of his sets are check raising flop, um, or check calling, betting turn, or leading at some point. Okay, we got these premium kings here. Premium doubles. I mean, they're double suited. The connectivity is not that great, but still, double suited is a lot by itself. So it is very good in and of itself. Okay, I think we're going to start with a C bet here, and we will reevaluate if anything happens, like if we get flatted. Okay. Okay, ace should scare him unless he has ace-4. We have the nut hearts, but the question is, do we want to bluff? And what are we bluffing? Ace-X, I guess. We're just going to check, actually. There's nothing we're really bluffing, obviously. Okay, he checks back, and 3. So 3 is very bad because like 6-7 is the one hand he could have that didn't have a 4 or an ace that just got there. So now we like lose to everything. I'm just going to check. And we won against probably queens. Okay, and then here I floated the flop against the c-bet, and now he's full potting turn, and we're blocking the nut straight, but like I just don't think he folds if we jam. Like if we're deeper and like I could represent the nut straight, like when he full pots, like if he has a flush draw or something, I just think he's calling with everything. So, but normally having the jacks there is very good. It's a good spot to bluff shove. If you think the guy could possibly fold, but like we just don't have enough chips, I don't think, to make him fold. When he has a draw or two pair or a set or whatever. So like if you're deeper stacked, you have more chance of making that work. But anyways, unfortunate. Yeah, so welcome to the Illegit YouTube channel, everyone. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Get out in the streets that I'm grinding out here, teaching people how to play Pot Limit Omaha. And you know what I mean? No, not really teaching, but like just letting them see. Because I'm not like a mastermind at all at Pot Limit Omaha. But I was a winning player back in the day. I think I'm definitely still a winning player if my results are anything to indicate. Since I've come back live and online, I've won at both places playing it. So against Pumpster, we're going to try to build some pots, especially when we have big nutty hands like this. We've got two big nutted suits. This guy could have flatted. This guy could have flatted big, obviously, which would be bad. We don't flop much. Our only backdoor is the king high flush. I'm pretty much just giving up on this board. There's lots of good boards we would continue on, obviously, and I think we can like give up on some of the worst of them. This one is one of the worst of them. Yeah, especially against this guy who we're not trying to mix up with necessarily. He's pretty nitty. I think I 3-bet this against a min open. Yeah, I did. And now we flop top trips and a wrap, so we're going to go ahead and c-bet on the decently big but not huge side. And get it in against Circuit Sam. Okay, he snap calls. Mostly he has flush draws, especially when we have an 8 and are blocking the other 8, him from having an 8. So we're just going to go pretty big and stack off, obviously. We don't want him to just like get a free look at a flush draw, or a cheap look at a flush draw. Yeah. And if he wants to go with it, that would be great because we beat most of his hands pretty handily. Sometimes we'll have like an overpair with a flush draw and just go with it, like kings with spades or something, or queens with spades. So yeah, so it's good to just like pot it there and get it in because like you're definitely getting called by worse sometimes. Is my point. It's not like only the case eight is going to call me. That's not true. So in that spot, got a nice hand here, nice and reasonable and playable. We got an open limper, which is always indicative of being terrible. I've got notes on that guy, and yeah, he is terrible. Oh, raise this over the open limpers. You're out of position, but it doesn't matter. Like you want to like build pots when you have strong hands against bad players, regardless. You should raise wider in position against limpers than from out of position for sure. And like you're gonna have some checks in your big blind range that you would raise if you had been on the button and stuff like that. So like your range from there is going to be not as wide, but still, yeah, like for value hands, you still want to raise your value hands mostly out of position even. Very good turn card. He's very unlikely to have it. I don't know how aggro he is. I feel like he's not super aggro. He's more just call-y, and so we just want to bet against for value against his flush draws and stack off if he jams. Yeah, sometimes he has king 4, king 7 here, but like if he does, we've got outs, so I'm definitely not folding. Or 7-7, okay, and we got there, so that's cool. Cool, bro. All right, we'll make a note on how he played that. Open limp, 7-7-3-3, and cut off. Like and also like I make so many notes mainly because I don't have a HUD, and like without currently at least, and without a HUD, like notes make a big difference obviously because it's like your only reads are through notes, otherwise you just don't have any reads at all. So okay, open limp, 7-7-3-3, and cut off. And like I know some people don't like this form of noting where you like note exactly what they did, because then it's like you stack up like notes that like you're not going to read and you don't know what they mean, and there it just gets more confusing. But I don't think that's exactly true. I think that's kind of wrong actually. Again, it's kind of like if you're like mass multi-tabling and you have a HUD, then yeah, like you can just make just color notes on player types, and that's probably good enough most of the time. And I think that's true too. But again, I don't have a HUD, so I need to make notes. And also, there's just like when you're playing like a few tables and at cash tables, more specific reads come in handy a lot of times. And like I'll note specific hands to start with and like what they did and everything. But then once I like accumulate notes on them and see what they're doing in general, then I can boil that down to say, okay, he does this sort of thing in this sort of position and everything. So anyways, okay, so open limp 7-7-3 and cut off, called, raise, called, c-bet on king 7, I think it was 4 flop, where he had middle set, jammed, king turn over 2 barrel, short stacking-ish. Alright, yeah. Alright, and if they save, Pumpster has built up a stack here. He's like I said, he's quite bad, but he built up a stack. Yeah, we just made a bluff against him on this board. Like, okay, we got jacks, not great jacks. You can open fold this a lot, but like I'm just trying to play hands with Pumpster here. Oh, get 3-bet by the other guy. Pumpster overcalls a lot though, and that's good. Like both these guys are bad, and we're mostly just playing this for set value deep against Pumpster. Yeah, and then mostly just giving up here. Like if it was just heads up and cash shooter 3-bet us and Pumpster down overcall, you can definitely just raise fold this and not continue with it because it's a very weak hand. Or you can just open fold it. Open folding is probably best unless you have specific reads that you're trying and something you're trying to accomplish specifically at the table. And even then, like mostly like what you should be doing is playing pretty tight. if you have loose players behind you or something that you're trying to trap, but it's okay. Okay, well this worked out all right anyways because it just doesn't look like anyone has anything, and we now have trips, so that are usually good. He calls us, so he could have like a lot of times people had pot controlled an ace there a lot, so and we're good now. All right, now this guy bets. I think I defended the big. All right, and we've got like good backdoor cards, so I'm just. And he's not very deep is the only thing that kind of sucks, but like there's good turns like this where now we have nut clubs and we have a wrap technically. Like if he has king queen, obviously the wrap is null and void. But if he doesn't, if he has ace jack or ace ace or something like, then the wrap is good too. Spades get there. I feel like he barrels spades a decent amount on the turn, but really at this stake not necessarily that much. Um, but also like his two pair and ace ace XX hands are just not going to like this river, so we're gonna try it, even though we have zero spades, which is bad. We have near the bottom of our range. We're gonna turn our ace into a bluff here. All right, didn't work. Let's see what he had. Ace, ace, what? Ace queen? Holy sh! Okay, well this guy is a massive. I think he just had ace queen, right? Just ace queen. Holy crap! What? Okay, complete station. Like any snap calls, like what on that board? Like I easily have flush draws there. Like what is he doing? I easily have flush draws. And so that's true. It's like only flushes, but I definitely have flushes. Uh, probably complete station. Open ace queen XX double suited. C bet ace jack X to spade. Check back 10 turn. Call big bet on third spade river. Wow. Okay, that was insane. That was exactly the sort of hand I was trying to get him to fold, right? Like ace king or ace queen. And he really should because I don't like I did obviously turn a worse ace into a bluff there, but like I really don't do that often. So yeah, it's just very bizarre. And he did I don't think he had any spades. Oh, maybe that's why. I mean, that makes it better for him, obviously. I'm just going to check this back. We flop top and bottom. Reasonably likely to be good, but kind of don't want to inflate the pot necessarily. This guy only goes half. We're still good a lot of the time on the turn here. We're definitely at least calling. And we'll see river. Okay. That's a very bad card, obviously. And now he goes full pot. We just have to fold. All right, and then over here we raised pre-flop. This guy donks like less than pot into us, and we have top pair like so we're blocking top set and nut flush draw, and that's a pretty bricky turn. Like sometimes he has two pair or something, but I think it's good to just go for value shove here against like if he happens to have a set or something, we have lots. Or I mean, if he happens to have bottom two or something, we have lots of outs. Two pair that he's going to go with on this board. We have tons of outs actually against 7 deuce or even king 7 or something. All right, and we get there, so that's cool. And now we're going to jam the rest. Don't expect him to fold. We could jam pretty fast here. Doesn't matter. We would just shove the rest in no matter what. A lot of the time. I mean, not really actually. We would check back like our top set of kings or whatever, probably after heart came in. And now he folds. Very weird because hearts were the only draw, really. Like king 7-2. Maybe he was calling to like because maybe he made a really like outstanding play with two pair and was like, okay, if the flush gets there, I'm just gonna call and then check fold, which would be crazy actually. Like on the turn to like if you think your two pair is good on the turn, you really need to get it in and or check fold. Check calling and then folding on flush card seems pretty bad. Got decent aces here, but with no suit, which kind of sucks a little bit. It's not that bad though, because it's got good connectivity. Okay, and we can get a lot in, so I'm gonna go with it here. Go for the 3-bet. There's lots of boards we can continue on. You can just call here sometimes, but especially with no suits. With one suit and the same exact cards, yeah, you definitely want to 3-bet. Okay, but now we're in position against short stack circuit Sam, so it worked out perfectly actually. We got exactly what we wanted. and now we can just stack off with ahead of his range for sure. Ahead of his range. Alright, and he folds. We were blocking kings, so that's not too surprising. Okay, this is a good example of why not to raise call this hand. It's a pretty trashy hand in the first place, and now you flopped an under straight, and like, how do you like it three ways against a guy potting? I didn't know he would be potting, but like I already just like did not like the situation at all with two clubs. I mean, it's a pretty easy check fold actually, which is gross, but it is. Call for the last four. Okay, yeah, they both had flush draws. He had two pair and a flush draw, and we actually would have been good, but we can't know that. And against actually, that was one of the like possible holdings they could both have where we're in really good shape, or not really good shape, reasonably good shape. He obviously had full house outs. They both had flush outs, although they were blocking each other for the flush. Our equity was probably not super great on the flop. I didn't see if anyone had the one like the slightly bigger straight draw to go with what they had. But yeah, in general, just raise fold ace 4 3 5 in general. Yep. So welcome to the session. Grinding and winning at low stakes PLO. This is how we do. We were up like a ton. If it weren't for those pots I told you guys about earlier, we like that where we were like extremely big favorites to win. Like like I think it was a 4 buy-in pot, so like $100 pot, and then right after it like an $80 pot, and that's at $10.25. And in both of them we were favorites. When the vast majority of the money went in. So pretty gross, but we're still actually up on the session quite a bit despite that, which was nice, and despite busting out of tournament after like grinding it to get pretty deep. That's what I really wanted to record. It's obviously kind of more exciting or whatever. Okay, let's see here. Probably just calling this. 1 second. Yeah, we're just calling this 3-bet. Did I 3-bet or did I flat? I don't know. But yeah, we're definitely call against in position here. Flop top 2. We have no diamonds, which sucks. Let's see what Blimey does. Hopefully he folds and we can just happily get in our top 2. Okay, he's gonna have aces with diamonds a fair amount, or like some hand with diamonds a fair amount. So actually saying that as I'm saying it, I think I'm just gonna flat and fade diamonds. Okay, and now possibly fold turn. Pretty gross. I mean, like most of the time I would just jam this flop, but like I don't see him like potting and then jamming turn hard like without diamonds. So like now we lose to aces, or we don't lose to aces, but aces have some equity against us, and we lose if he did have diamonds. Kind of gross spot actually. I should most of the time, like vast majority of the time, I just jam that flop because he c-bet it 3 ways. It's still reasonable to try to fade a diamond and then get it in on the turn, or fade, the board pair counter fading you or whatever. Yeah, so that was kind of a gross spot. But I like when he goes full pot after 3-betting, I just think he has diamonds a lot. Into like when he does it into 3 players. Sometimes he has bare aces, sometimes he does, and sometimes he like just spaz jams the turn, even though I could easily have a flush after calling him on the flop. So it's kind of close. That's why jamming the flop is like just feels better because it makes your decision easy, and like Jack 6 is almost certainly the best hand at that point. So all right, we've got a rundown here. It's not very good, but we will flat it in position on the button here. Okay, we raise called this against Whammy, who's bad, and we're just going to check and check jam, basically. It's a pretty wet board, so we don't want bad turns to come. And he goes fairly big, so yeah, we're just going to get it in here. Wait a second, and then down here, getting donked into, when we have bottom 2 and a gutter, we'll probably call that. Alright, now we're going. Here we go. Hopefully he doesn't have kings. Let's go. What does he have? He's going slow. He does have kings. That's very sick. Okay. Fair. Fair, fair, fair. 3-bet, ace, king, king X. C-bet, king, queen X. Largish. Called shove. Standard-ish. Alright. That was a cooler. That was a cooler. Alright, we got kings over here. Now our bottom two could be good but over here, but we're just going to check it down. They're probably not good actually most of the time, but we're just going to check it down. Yeah, top set. Alright, fair enough. Now the question is, do we want to 4-bet this? We're blocking aces. Our kings are like not great, like, but they're hard to play post. So I think we do want to add this into our 4-bet range sometimes, especially when the guy's 3-betting us in position. He's much more likely to be wide. We don't really have a read on him specifically, but we're just going to go with it. And we're going to 4-ball it and not fold, obviously. Although if he does jam, we're sickened because because he's more likely to have aces, which is kind of gross, but whatever. Yep, and he's got it. Blocking a set, and our clubs are live at least. 3. Okay, no diamond. Ooh, we got there. Ooh, all right, cool. Cool. Yep, and we got a nice run down here. Pumpster is in. That's great. We're 3-betting Pumpster for sure. We are 3-betting Pumpster for sure. Yeah, that's questionable, but like once you go half, I think the price you're getting is too good. But I mean, maybe not if it's always aces that he has. All right, we flop top trips here. We're going to c-bet. He just flats. Okay, he has lots of spades. Obviously, he didn't even think about raising. So I don't think he has very many tens at all. When he has spades, he's more likely to check back this turn. So I'm just going to barrel for value here and see what happens on river. If we get raised again, pretty gross. Okay, he just flats again. That's good. Okay, pretty bricky river. Now the question is, do we want to induce or value bet? I don't really know what we can value bet against. I think we just need to try to induce. If he has backdoor 3-6 or something, it's just gross. All right. He does have a backdoor. Holy fuck. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, I mean, we got lucky on the hand before, so it's okay. I knew he had flush draw. I knew flush draw bricked. I was right. There were some backdoor straights too, but he actually had them. So disgusting. Gosh, how does this guy keep getting away so bad? He's just completely terrible, man. What am I betting on that board? The second barrel on a paired board, so bad to be calling with a flush draw. He turned I think a wrap to go with his low flush draw, but he's so terrible. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, I hope I'm on the right table. Yeah, okay, good. Good. You're looking at the right table. Yeah, so weird session continues. Oh man. Yeah, the king's hand is questionable, especially single suited, I think, with 3 clubs. It's probably better to just fold to the 3-bet most of the time. Seems kind of weak with the ace. Yeah, I mean sometimes it's with the ace king and a suit. I think you just have to 4-bet get it in, or else you get exploited too much. Yeah, but then when they jam, literally how is ace king X doing against a range of all ace XX? Because I think his range is all ace XX by the time he jams. I'm getting a huge price at that point, obviously, so it's I think it would be weird to fold, but also our equity against his range at that point is pretty bad. I think he's mostly just flatting our 4-bets when he does. Okay, we took it down there, opening this mediocre hand, and this is a very good hand. We'll probably be 3-betting, but all right. We flop middle set and the nut flush draw against this guy. Question is, do we go for a check raise after we've been c-betting so much? Maybe. Yeah, I think we're going to mix it up and try to check raise here. Obviously, we're not protecting against anything. Just pray that he bets, and we want to play a huge pot here, and still want to play a huge pot. Less likely to play a huge pot. This is why I've been continuously c-betting. because he's like really bad and stationy, but he's not like, especially on a big stack, it seems like he starts just like knitting up. I don't really get it, but we're gonna bet now. Oh, this is nice. Okay. Like this is very weird though, because it's like, what the hell? Like this guy's like a nit. He doesn't have the ace of hearts in his hand. Like what does he have? If we jam here, he's pretty good. He'll probably fold. We're just gonna call. He'll probably fold a flush. You know what I mean? So, and he snap checks river, which is weird. All right. And I mean, I guess we're just hoping he has king high hearts and will pay off. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess like the best to go big there. I don't really know, but I feel like it is. Check raise turn. Like, why would like if he had king high hearts, so why would he check raise turn? Like, doesn't really make sense. More likely to be like a set trying to set up if he like semi bluffing. I think like two pair or a set semi bluffing. So like then when his full house gets there, it's kind of disguised. That's what I kind of feel like it probably was, rather than like king high flush. But who knows? Who knows for show? Still up in this session, even though it's been very weird. Only up like 2 buy-ins now though, or actually more than that because I lost some in turn. I played 2 small tourneys for $30. So yeah, I'm up. So in PLO, I'm up more like 3 buy-ins, 3.5 buy-ins. Okay. Yeah. So I guess I'm not discussing too much strategy or anything. Just discussing the hands as they come up. Let me know if you guys like that or dislike that for whatever reasons. Trying to put out some juicy PLO content for people who don't know too much about the game. Yeah, and just don't know what to talk about necessarily. That's why I need to get some streaming audience so that I can get people asking questions and feedback and interacting with people, and they can be asking questions about hands or whatever, and then I think it'll be just profitable experience in general for me and for other people who are especially like people grinding like or trying to learn PLO at the low stakes. Got definitely reasonable hand to open here. Not great hand, obviously, but reasonable. Is reasonable. I mean, like we're good a lot here, and this guy doesn't seem to get that tricky, so I'm gonna see bet like on the small side. I don't expect him to continue that much unless he has king, king, queen, queen, or an ace. Even like, or like if he happens to have 3, 4, 5, 6 or something, but like that's pretty rare. So, but also like I'm just betting like so that like as I said, he would continue with are better. So I'm basically betting this as a semi bluff, and then barreling turn like basically trying to get him to fold queen, queen, king, king type hands now at this point. And there are 2 aces. He obviously an ace is in his range, but he has other hands. And most of them we want to just try to get to fold. All right, which we did, and that's good. Like because we went so small on the flop, I think he floats a decently wide amount. So besides ace x, so there we go. All right, this is a reasonable hand to open. This guy 3 bets. With the pair in our hand, it's not great, obviously, but we can still call here against Blimey in position. Okay, and he got out, so we're in position. Okay, and we flop top set and a gutter, so that's very nice. We're going to get this in. Hopefully he pots it. Okay, he goes pretty small. I don't think we are, like, just in case he's bluffing, we're just going to flat here. We're not folding on any turn, obviously. Like, there are no bad turns for us, really. Ace is bad turn. Okay, and then we snap call here and just hope we hold. Okay, he has a straight, so we have to get there, actually. And we did. Woo! We had a 6 or a board pair, obviously, to take it, but pretty gross that he had a straight to go with his like weird, not weird, but like his rainbow aces, his mediocre / bad aces. Yeah, they really are bad aces, but they flop really good, and that's why you see bet small, obviously. I think if he just has aces on that board and the SPR is like pretty small like that, that he's mostly just like jamming the flop, or like potting and then calling. Like I think SPR was only like 2 post flop, because yeah, it was about two or no, yeah, SPR was about 2. So I think like if he's like, okay, this is like not a great board, but like I have aces and the SPR's 2, like, I think he's just potting it most of the time, but he didn't. He had actually flopped a straight, so that's why he bet smaller. Interesting, worth noting. Okay, this is a nice hand. No suit obviously, which sucks, but still playable on the button. Flop nothing but a gutter, even though we started with such a nice hand, sadly. We're just gonna see bet here. Actually, we'll check back. We have a lot of turn cards that can make our hand playable. 10 is not really like one of the better ones, but we do have top pair, top kicker now, and it could be good. So we're going to bet that. And if we get check raise, we have an easy fold, obviously. And we have a gutter too, so we can always hit, and we do hit. We make the nuts on the river. That's very nice. Okay, he snap donks into us. I feel like this is going to be the nuts a fair amount of the time. But sometimes it's going to be just a jack, so we need to try to own the jack, and we're going to by raising. Give it a weight, and we're going to be potting in a second. If he rejams, I mean we have the nuts, so it's not like okay good. He just has a jack, and he's going to lose very likely. Nice, cool. So that's the other value of the semi bluff, is then when you do happen to bink like that, you can win bigger, bigger pot than you would have otherwise. Okay, it's not a great hand obviously, but playable. The suit is like not worth that much because it's only 10 high. But the double pair obviously we've got double set possibilities. Okay, we've got aces here on the button. We'll open that. If someone 3 bets, we'll 4 bet get it in obviously. Kona seems like he's a kind of reg, like he multi-tables at these stakes 5-10, and he's the only name I see like super consistently. This is a very bad board for us. I'm just going to check it back, not necessarily give up, but definitely try to like just pot control here. It's a bad turn too. Not that bad once he checks. Like we have jacks in our range for sure for checking back flop. So we're gonna bet here for protection / value against all of his non-jack range, non-jack X range, or better, obviously, like 9s or whatever. And then when he does this, it's pretty easy fold. Like I don't see him just turning his draws into a bluff here that often. So like I just think a lot of times he's gonna be fold, or at least have a jack with clubs or something, because like I said, it is easy for us to have a jack there, and he still check raises. So that's like bad news. Like we're definitely not c betting all our jacks there. Like jacks are among like our most likely to check back hands. Actually, we had aces instead, but like jack XX a lot of times is what we'll be checking back. All right, this is not a great hand, obviously, but when it binks, like it binks a fair amount, a 5 or a 4, and against a 3 better, we'll be able to stack him like a fair amount. So I'm going to call, and then we can check fold easily on this board. Most of the time, unless like it comes 8, like if he checks back and it comes to 8, we can turn our hand into a bluff or something too. So that's the other upside. With no suits here, I'm just going to call in the small. With one like suited to the queen, same thing. I might 3 bet this out of position, but not with no suits. Now on this board, I'm pretty much just going to give up. All right, and then over here, we'll open this like run downish hand. All right, and then back over here, getting only 3-handed. Probably bring this video to a close. I don't know if I'll be able to upload the full length of this video. Might have to chop it into parts like old school style. And I don't really know who's that interested in my streaming. If you are, again, subscribe, tell your friends. Duffy is back streaming. He's like doing the thing. Like he's the man, you know what I mean? Like he knows everything about pot limit Omaha. He's like got the big old brain. He knows how to crush these small stakes. Feel me, son? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get it out there. No, I'm just messing around. This I should not have opened. I just saw it double suited and opened. This is a very bad open. And I'm out of position to 3-bet. I'm just going to fold to 3-bet. I should not have opened in the first place. Here we're flatting. Yeah, it's like way too loose. Way too loose. Yeah, we're just going to flat here with only jack high suit. King jack, king queen jack. You know, it's somewhat playable. And we're in position against a small blind. Can float here and turn our hand into a bluff. Yeah, I think we will. We got some turns too where we can hit a pair like this, a pair and a gut shot, where the king could be good. Obviously, it's not good if the guy does have aces or a 9. He's barreling the turn, like he's repping now nines mostly. Like I don't think he barrels aces very often. But we've picked up a kind of like bluff catcher, so that's kind of weird because we were trying to represent 9x of some kind, which we would like float a lot. We're not always raising that on the flop. We're gonna call again. It's iffy, obviously, at this point. And then if he barrels again, like he just has like ace 9 or king 9 or kings, even though we're blocking a king like quite a bit. Like yeah, I don't think he's going 3 streets very often as pure bluff. Like it's very easy for us to have a 9 here, and he probably doesn't think we're folding a 9. So like he probably has a 9 himself that's better. Like it's just hard for this to be a bluff. So even though I mean we have a king, so we're blocking king 9, which is his most likely 9. Yeah, or ended up being unfortunate that we picked up a king. We're mostly floating the flop so that when he checks the turn, we can bet and then take it away because he has lots of c bets on that board that are just air. Um, and so like I'm planning on folding to most of his 2 barrels if he does 2 barrel. But when we pick up top pair and a gut shot, it's like okay, now do we fold to his 2 barrel? Maybe still, but no, it just feels weird. So like especially blind versus blind. So I do think it's better to call the turn most of the time. But obviously, you can also just fold the flop a lot, which I normally do, but I mix in some floats there. It's better also when you have a backdoor flush draw, which I don't think I had. So that's probably a bad hand to do it with because if I'm doing it with that hand, I'm probably just floating flop too much. Although I feel like I'm doing it kind of randomly. Like most of the time, I do just fold that. Okay, we get 3-bet here. We're super deep. And these are pretty like mediocre aces, so it's dangerous to 4-bet them and turn my hand face up. I'm actually just gonna call here. It's so deep against Audi and disguise my hand. He doesn't 3-bet that much, so he does have some king XX in his range, sadly. Like you know, a fair amount. He also has like rundowns and stuff, so we're definitely not folding. This is a very good board, except for you know king XX is out there, so we're gonna call. Okay, he snap checks turn. Like there's not much to protect from. I feel like I'm just going to check back here and not float the pot when he does have king XX. Okay, and now the straight's completely brick. So we'll see. Yeah, that's worrisome. But also like if he had like some sort of rundown, like this is king XX or nothing, or like some random 4 like ace 4 that happened to be in his range. I don't think he has much. We're just losing the kings here, which sucks, but I think we have to call. Like there's too many like rundowns that missed and stuff, and he can represent aces. Yeah, he can represent aces, and he's going to try, and that's what he did. He's basically trying to get me to fold like mediocre pairs, or like basically like king queen, like ace king XX hands. Like he's trying to rep like aces that didn't continue. So I think we played it all right. Yeah, kind of maximize our value, I think. All right, flopped a gut shot and flush draw here. We're gonna go on the decently big sides and not fold. Okay, he checked min raise. So now the question is, do we just jam here and get it in against like worse draws and stuff? We don't have a pair to go with it, or do we like? I think like he does have top set a decent amount, you know. Or so do we try to fade a board pair and then fold non-board pairs? No, I think we just go with it here. Semi-bluff jam. Get him to fold like some queens, maybe. Like once he check raises, I don't know how much he folds to this. But it's okay, obviously. Like we have equity against whatever he's got. So and we want okay, and he just has king 3, which is very bad get in, extremely bad. Like like my range totally smashes queen three for the get in. Even with what we had, I think we were a slight favorite, gut shot and nut flush draw. So that was, we're happy to get that in. And sometimes like he won't have queen three, so like, but he played like an extremely bad hand pre, and then just got there pretty gross. We totally whiffed here, so we're just giving up. We're gonna make a note on this guy. Donk called bad queen three XX and rainbow out of position. Check min raised queen 4-3 2 club flop jam. All right. We got top pair, top kicker here. I'm going to bet as protection, kind of. See bet down here. All right. And, oh shit! I did not see that this was 3-bet. Ooh, that's bad. I accidentally overcalled this when it was like this guy 3-bet to 5K. It's kind of gross because now we flop an under pair to the top pair and a flush draw, which is pretty gross. Okay, we called Krona's check raise here, which is kind of like not, that's like I don't know if we should have. Sorry, over here. Okay, here now we have to call this. Like after having called 3. Okay, he's got aces. That guy didn't jam 3. Okay, all right, we get there. That's good. And then here he check raise flop, and now he check turn. I'm going to check back turn and try to induce bluffs on rivers. Okay, now like we definitely can't get away, and like, but it could have been check raising. Okay, now we're definitely snap calling, but like he has nut flush a decent amount, which is gross, but whatever. I don't think we can raise the value. Okay, wow, he was value betting himself and probably wasn't calling if I jammed. The fourth heart got him to value bet. It's crazy. A couple crazy hands there in a row. Crazy, crazy. Yeah, this hand was crazy. Over here, too. I think I got it in. What happened? Oh yeah, he had ace. Yeah, that was just not a misclick, but like I didn't see. I thought I was calling a smaller. Like I thought I was calling a single open. Or no, I thought I was calling an isolation. Yeah, because I was paying attention to the other tapes. Actually, it wasn't that bad. Now looking at like how most of the money went in, I was thinking that guy 5-bet. Yeah, no, that's okay. It's okay how it went. Although the pre-flop flat is not that great that I made. Because it went limp call. I had ace queen queen with one suit to the queen, and like I made a flat in the small blind after a guy had raised. And then the guy 3-bet, and then like I was closing the action 3 ways, and we were pretty deep stacked with the other guy, so it wasn't that bad at that point. Although the pre-flop flat might have been bad. Yeah, but and then once it comes, you know, with the flush draw, and then the other guy folds so that we're head up. Yeah, it's an easy call at that point. All right, obviously we have the king high hearts, which is interesting, because, and we have the clubs obviously because we could represent hearts. I'm just gonna check back though. Okay, and we make the stealth nuts. That would have been sick if we had bet the turn. That would have been sick if we had bet the turn. Like because like betting the turn is tantalizing because like then I can represent some 2-barreled king high hearts on the turn, like when hearts come in on the river, and he doesn't have like, and he probably won't have too many hearts when he check calls the turn. So, but then also sometimes we get check raised if he had 2 pairs, top 2 or something. They were slow playing or a set. Here we're definitely potting. Okay, we flop top pair and a gutter against Maxim, who I tend to think is pretty bad. But I don't think he's folding here that much. If we get raised, probably just fold. I mean, pretty much, yeah, just fold. Got backdoor and a gutter, but like it's just not that much going on for us. Open this on the button for sure. Flop the set. Actually, I just completed in this small blind here, which I don't do that often. Then flop the set and donk, and we fold. All right. Get call from the big blind here. We flop top 2, which is good. Little c-bet. Very good. We get check raise. Thing is, it's a pretty dry board. Like if we do get check raise, it's like what? Like I don't. That's why and we're blocking jacks and 7s, so it's like if we do get check raise, what does he have? Like, okay. Yeah, I just don't expect to get check raised there much. All right, that's rubbish. Total rags. Rubbish rags, rubbish rags, rags and rubbish. Yep. Welcome to the stream, folks. Welcome to the stream. Um, yeah, I think I could be like. I need to get back. I'm getting back in the groove at these lower stakes before I start trying to move up. Like I said, I used to grind like 1-2 up to like 2-4 PLO online, and before that I was mostly like MTT reg, um, and but like I want to get. That's cold. I just folded this under the gun. Like, so I'm playing like stakes well below what I used to play, but I like the game's certainly different. This website, there's hardly any games running even at these stakes. I assume the higher stakes, if there are games running, like have like a lot of regs, I assume. So like I don't want to jump into that like right away at all. There's just not a good player pool or I like at these stakes there are good player pools. Like a lot of, like I pretty much crushed. The players are very bad. Even the reg seems like not that good. So like I'm not worried about like winning at these stakes, but my point is, like if you're looking at it and saying, "Dang, these are small stakes," it's kind of boring. Yeah, that's true, but also like it's just the position I'm in right now, and trying to just see how I do at these stakes and like start building up a roll. I deposited like they let you deposit in Bitcoin on here, which is cool. But so like I deposited for like I deposited like 1K in Bitcoin, and just starting on that, and I've ran it up to about like 1.5K now, so up 500 after like a couple weeks of grinding or whatever, and not even like every day, like just grinding here and there. So and most of it has been at PLO. Like I'm up in tourneys, but not that much. Like maybe like 100 of, or 100 and yeah, 100 and something of that is from tourneys and Sit and Goes, which I've played a few of. Not that much. Most of it's from PLO cash at like 10 cent, 25 cents. So I'm gonna try to grind it up to like my like 2K or better before I try moving up or like seeing what the stakes or what the games are like at 25.50. I assume I can beat 25.50 fairly easily too. 50 cent a dollar is where I might like, you know, like again I have no idea what the games are like here, so I don't really know. But like yeah, I'm just starting at a kind of like fairly low comfort zone just to see, you know, get my feet wet again. Even though I'm very confident that like my PLO game is like much stronger than almost all these people. Not to like be um, arrogant or whatever. All right, I 3-bet this guy in position. I think we're just going to take a free card here. I check back a fair amount after 3-betting free, including, you know, with some vulnerable aces. So like it doesn't necessarily mean that I have worse than aces or kings. So I could represent like aces still on the turn, but if he has a king, he's not folding. We have some showdown. I think I'm going to bet though for protection. I mean like sometimes he has a king and we're just value owning ourselves, but other times like we just have the best hand. Now like I think it's pretty likely that we have the best hand, but also we can't get value from anything that's worse, so we're just going to check back. He sometimes has just random king x, yeah, but queens are good. And yeah, after he checks twice, I just think the queens are good there a lot. All right, this guy's like started 3-betting a lot more. I had him as a nit, and I think he was, but it's getting weird. Like he started 3-betting a lot, and at least one time he didn't have aces for sure. Like that was the hand where he tried to rep aces. He had like ace 8 double suited or something. This suit only being to the jack kind of sucks, but whatever, we can definitely call. Closing the action here against a single 3-bet. Flop top pair with no straight draws to go with it and only backdoor equity. I think we could float here. Obviously, any 2-pair turn like makes no straights or anything. The question is, do we want to just jam it in here at this point against his range? I think he has some 2 pairs that are better, some pairs and wraps that are better. I think it's better to just flat, and then like also some like that's a very bad card for our hand obviously, and well within like the sorts of hands that could hit his range. Obviously 8-7 like this flop a lot. Seems like he's afraid of 8-7 now though, because I think he's mostly just jamming 8-7 at this point if he happens to have it. So I think we're just going to check back and try to realize our equity. Okay, now we make top 2, so we don't beat 8-7 still, but we beat all of his other 2 pairs, and now now he does jam. It's pretty gross, actually. Pretty freaking gross. Do I have any notes on this guy? Let's see. We bet ace king check 10. Showed. Okay. He does make strange, weird bluffs, so like I don't, or he has like, it just showed like I have a note on him saying like my only note is that he made a very like weird bluff and then showed at one point. So it's like 7-8 got there, 7-4 got there. He could have like checked 7-4 like, and then now he's like okay 7-8 like not out there. Like I'm value betting 7-4. It's kind of gross, but top 2 I think this is like the top of our range for value for one of the best hands we can have here. So I think I'm gonna call. And he was bluffing. All right, cool. And that note came in handy because it is a sort of weird spot. Yeah, so makes spazzy weird bluffs on river. Yeah, that's like he's not really. I mean, he's repping 5-5 or 7-8 for sure. But the thing is, like, why doesn't 7-8 just jam the turn? You know what I mean? Like most of the time it does, even though like it's not protecting from that much. Honestly, like a good player could check that turn with 7-8 because it's like okay, like he has the board pretty well locked up. All that you need to fade really with if you have 7-8 on that board is a 7 or an 8 river, and there's not that many of them, right? So it's like I could see a good player checking there to try to induce a bluff sometimes, but I don't think that's what he was doing. Well, he obviously wasn't. He didn't have 7-8, but I just don't think he's a good player. So I'm like, and then once I see he has weird bluffs and we river our top 2 pair, yeah, it's a good spot to hero call actually. But it is a hero call. Like you don't beat 7-4, you don't beat 7-8, and you're not blocking those hands. So, yeah. But it was, yeah, he just had ace 10 5-4, like it's just random 4 cards spazzing off again. So good to know. Good to know. Yeah, so grinded our stack back up on both tables during this session, which is good. And then yeah, both these tables, and then third table, yeah, we tripled our buy-in. And I think that's only on one buy-in too. So been a good, reasonably good session. Despite the fact we got really unlucky in some big pots, like, and all that happened before I started streaming or recording, I should say, for YouTube. Yeah. So I'm gonna get going and checking out here soon. Hope you guys like the PLO content. Let me know if you want more. Again, follow me on Twitch. The illegit is my name. Is my name on there. I'll put it in the description, I assume, like the link to my Twitch channel. And I'll be streaming, fairly frequently here and there, like maybe a couple times a week, whatever. So if you see me pop up, come give me a watch, and let me know what's up. Say holla to your boy. We just flatted this pre. I'm just gonna fold now. I'm pretty sure we just flatted that, or we raised it over a limper, but yeah, but it's 3 ways now. Yeah, and getting donked into. This hand is not great, obviously, but we're over 200 big blinds deep with this guy, so we'll call. It's not necessarily a reason to call, because it's that kind of hand that can be pretty trappy. Like there's a gap at the top, the pair is low, so if you flop a set, like sometimes you get like set over setted, like you play a really big pot. So you have to be careful with it out of position, obviously. But it can flop some stuff, and you can realize your equity sometimes. And the flushes are low. It's a pretty bad hand, to be honest, like just in general. But also, it can hit some boards that like where when other players don't have low cards and stuff sometimes. Okay, we're blocking a low straight. We're not blocking the key like high straight, but no one bet the flop. And the small blind didn't lead the turn, which makes it less likely he has Jack 10. So I'm just going to turn my 6s into a bluff here, blocking the 6s straights, and then we're not blocking the Jack 10 straights, but it's also just pretty unlikely either of them has Jack 10. Shiggy, the vast majority of the time, he has some kind of combo hand that, like some kind of draw hand that includes Jack 10, is going to be c-betting that flop, and he didn't, and Circuit had 2 chances to bet and hadn't used either of them, so it's very unlikely he has Jack 10. So yeah, it's a good spot to turn our hand into a bluff. Alright, and we have reasonable kings here, and then on the other table we have reasonable aces. I'm just going to be flatting these kings out of position. And actually on our third table we have aces. So we got 2 aces and 1 kings right now. We'll see how they go. For now we'll start with, okay, so the kings flop pretty good. We flop middle pair and second nut flush draw, probably just check calling mostly there. Here we're hoping for someone to 3-bet. That would be nice. They c-bet down here, and it's call. I think this is just a call spot for the most part. This is not a great board four-handed. We make the second nut flush with the king that's on the other board. He donks half pot. I'm going to float once, but like be very wary on lots of turns. Here we're going to be 3-betting, especially against a shortish stack. And then here we're going to be leading and like folding if there's a lot of action. Okay, and then here, okay, I think we just took it down with the king high flush. Yeah, we did. Okay, and then here we got called in 2 spots, and this is like a very obvious straight card, so we're pretty much giving up here. And then over on this table we 3-bet this. Guy only has 1 pot size bet left. It's not a good flop at all, but SPR of 1, I'm just getting it in like on any flop, including this. And we've got aces on our third table now too. Wow, okay, well that's bad. Back on the first table, that's bad, but it's obvious we're getting it in. The other ace is lost. He has just kings. He just has kings. We faded it. Sweet. Okay. And then here we open on the button with these aces. This is pretty crazy, like a string of hands right now. Open on the button with these aces. Flop top set. Obviously royal flush draw or royal flush is possible. That would have us dead, but we're gonna c-bet, and we're blocking one of our full house outs for when he has the full flush. Although we just hit it, so that's good. And now we're going to barrel. We'll just barrel. Just hope that he has queens full or like a king high flush that he's slow playing and not the royal. Go ahead and barrel, and he snap folds, sadly. And in 4 hands on 3 tables, I had 3 ace XX hands and 1 king XX hand. I think most of them won, like one of or half of them won, and like one of them lost a small pot. Yeah, it's pretty good. And the kings won. They made the flush on the turn, and I led, and they both just folded. I'm raising this over whammies bad and open limp. The connectivity is not super good. The suit is to the king, so it's questionable. But like I still like doing it against bad players, building pots with them, even out of position. Gonna go ahead and c-bet top 2 here. We have the ace of spades for backdoor fun sometimes. And we take it down, and then over here, what happened? Okay, we got 3-bet. We've got a reasonable rundown against him, and we'll be heads up. Question is, do we want to 4-bet bluff? No, we're just gonna flat. All right, flatting here. He flats 2, 4. Not much else going on. Pretty much just giving up on this, unless it checks through and like a 7 binks off. 7 would be a huge card. Or not huge, but like nice, very nice card. Yeah, I'm just check folding this. Boop, boop, boop. Alright, we have some backdoor equity here. And he'll c-bet decently wide. I'm just going to float. It's a very dry board. And I could definitely float here with like a set or something. Or 2 pair. Because the board is so dry. And then when he checks turn, I'm just going to bet. Like turn my, like I have pure air, so I'm going to turn that into a bluff. That's like why I call flop. Here, and here I'm c-betting. Okay, and he folded. Alright, that float worked. And obviously the float was not like, oh, I'm just calling only to bluff. Like I had a lot of good turn cards that I could possibly hit, obviously. Alright, I c-bet here and get check raised. Kind of weird, unnerving. We call once. Honestly, like he has lots of Jack XX and better 5s in his range, especially if he goes big on turn. So we're definitely bet calling, but not really loving it that much. Not really loving it that much. Checks turn. Now he has some just flush draws and is trying to get them. Like I feel like he just like barrels with most of his fives and stuff, which makes me want to protect. But then like, and basically bet fold. Like if we get jammed on, we can just be pretty happy that he has, he has it. He has some better fives too, I guess. Like that he now checks, like ace 5x that is worried about a king or whatever. It's not a great bet. I guess we could just like check back, but okay. And then sometimes I guess we'll just take it down, so that's good. Yeah, I just think like he mostly has like a flush draw or just like pure bluff after that, and so I just want to protect my hand. Erased here, got a call. We still have a gut shot to go with our overpair. I'm going to bet the turn after the flop check through, heads up. Okay, over here, and then I have bad kings. I have good kings there, bad kings over here. Okay, that wins. And then over here, we flop an overpair, and we're blocking aces. And now here we have aces again. Wow, this run of aces and kings is insane. Like, they're all over the place. Aces and kings galore. All right, okay, this guy opens. We're just going to 3-bet on the button. These aces are decent. And we'll 3-bet like a variety of hands from the big blind. Okay, we just take it down. Here we're just going to check call. We don't really have any backup. Okay, that's not a very good turn. But the kings are just good a lot on the flop, and sometimes we can get to showdown. So we'll just check call flop and reevaluate turn. Yeah, now they're either not good or like up against a big draw and like just hard to get to showdown. I'm going to fold. A lot of action, and we've been building our stack on all these tables consistently. So that's good. Good session. Yeah, but like I need to get like a poker tracker. It sounds like all right, but like you want to isolate in position against a bad short stack. It's not great, obviously, but and then be able to win like very raggedy boards like this sometimes, rather than like limping behind and then not being able to win boards like this, 4 ways or whatever. Much better situation to be in. Yeah, I do like my smallest C bets are mostly half pot in these games, and I think it's a better adjustment. Like even though like another aces hand, wow, I have nothing there. I'm pretty much giving up into calls. But yeah, and he's very short. He only has 1 pot size bet left, and a lot of what he calls with like just got there or made 2 pair or something, and it's not folding. So. Now we've got aces over here, yeah, and he jams river over here, so we're just snap folding, obviously. Here we're checking, got aces. Hopefully we get 3-bet down here. I have 4, 5, 6, 7 on the other table, but it comes pretty bad, and he c-bets, and I'm out of position, so I'm just gonna fold. Flop top set here, and we're blocking the nut flush draw. We're gonna go ahead and c-bet. C-bet and not fold. Obviously 4-5 is possible, but oh well. Get it in against 4-5. Thing is though, like if you do get check raised, it's like more likely to be 4-5 because it's not possible, like because we have the ace of hearts, like we don't have, like no one can have something like ace 5 with the ace 5 of hearts, for example, that they semi-bluff check raise get in, because we have the ace of hearts. So like their check raising range is going to be a lot more, 4-5 specifically, if anyone check raised or anything. Yeah, we're just going to keep barreling here, I guess. Our hand is not that well disguised, but whatever. Yeah, we're going to go kind of smaller though, so we might call, but still enough that we can get most of it on the river. Okay, too bad. Did we defend this? Yeah, I think we defended this, and not a 3-bet pot, is it? I don't think so. No, just bet. Yeah, okay. We're just going to check call with the king high flush draw at least once. Could check raise sometimes, blocking the king 10, which we are. Actually, I kind of like that now that I've said it, but a little too late. And turn your hand into a semi-bluff that way. He goes full pot on the turn. Not great because like we don't have anything, and like our only outs sometimes are like maybe not even outs because he can have ace of diamonds draw pretty easily. So. I think we had the best hand on the turn over here, most likely, but probably not now, especially if that's such a small pot. Like, I don't expect him to try bluffing that often. We might still have the best hand. Yeah, that's what I figured. Alright, we'll open this on the button. Not a great hand, but we're three-handed and on the button, so and it's a reasonable hand. You have suited ace and you have a pair, so it's not like a bad hand. But it's also not a great hand, obviously. Not a great hand. Has two components though of reasonable stuff. And then down here we opened. Actually, I thought I opened the button, but I raised over a limper and flop bottom two pair and second nut flush draw against this guy. So we're definitely going to see bet and probably not fold no matter what. We'll see what he does. I'll tell you what happens with those fours. So far, nothing. Okay, he just folds. This guy's tanking. Now we've got premium kings over here. Man, lots of kings and aces recently. I don't know, and like decent kings. Obviously, kings are like you can get lots of kings. Okay, this guy goes less than full, and generally people, if they have aces, are more likely to go full. It's not always true. Some people like do this 28 sizing no matter what. But generally, I feel like aces are a lot more likely to open full, so that like if they get 3-bet, then they can get like more of their stack in free. So I'm going to be 3-betting this in position, and I'm going to be bet not folding this because we are blocking, top two. Like we're blocking a set. We're blocking him having two pair. He could have a combo draw. I'm going to just raise, get it in here. Like he just doesn't have very many two pair hands, so we're in very good shape against his range. We're just going to raise for value and get it in. And here we go. Hopefully he doesn't have a set. He does. Once he 3-bets the flop, he's a lot more likely to have a set, but still, like we're doing too well against his range still. Like he can have queen, like queen jack 10 for example, or something like that too. I guess not just hands like that. But we'll make a note. Raise called 10 9 8 8 or 9 9 8 double suited out. Fine ish. I make notes even when people do like normal and like sane stuff because you want to know like if they're like if all your notes are if you only note when people do like bad things, then your notes are going to be biased obviously towards like thinking they're worse than they are. If notes on a guy who's like everything he does is reasonable, but then he's probably decent at least. He's not like a complete like monkey or whatever. So it's good. And again, like note taking is more just for people who don't have HUDs. I think like if you have a HUD, like you just don't need it as much. But, okay, so raise called donked queen 9x rainbow into 3-better. I think like half pot-ish and 3-bet all in on the flop. Yeah, I mean that's like a sort of kind of tricky thing to do to donk your set into the 3-better, but we just flopped really good with our hand. I mean, it wasn't really good. Like we're blocking two pair. We're blocking queen 9. We're blocking queens. So like we're just like it's kind of a cooler. And we still have equity even when he has a set. Like we're in bad shape, but like we still have equity against that, right? Like queen isn't out. I mean, actually queen isn't. King isn't out. Jack isn't out. So just kind of a cooler. All right. Premium queens over here. Question is, do we want to 3-bet them? I think the answer is no in this spot. I'm just gonna call. Pretty bad flop with no clubs. We do have top pair, top kicker, like in addition to the overpair, so we're blocking like some top pairs or top sets and stuff like that. But it's not too relevant. Not too relevant. We'll see what happens. See if we get a check back. Okay, that's a very good card for our hand. Like he didn't see bet. Like he could check back some ace ace king king hands, but like and hack didn't lead turn, which he's pretty likely to do if he has a 3. I'm just gonna bet here for protection, representing king 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 xx queen queen xx some 3s obviously. and just push down. This guy min opened up here. I'm going to 3-bet him in position with a reasonable hand. Again, like min opens and like less than full opens, I think, are a lot less likely to be aces, and so we're a lot less likely to get 4-bet. There you go, just calls. And now here, we are going to bet call basically. We've got a gutter and the nut flush draw, and we're only dead against 5-4 or 4-4 or whatever, but like we're just very rarely dead if he does check bomb. So we're fairly happy to get in, and sometimes he has worse draws. Like sometimes he'll get it in with king high flush draw with no flush. Like if he had king queen jack 10 there with flush draw, he might get it in. So, and sometimes we're dominating him. And then other times, even if he has a 4, we have a reasonable amount of equity as long as he's not full, like right then. So, yep. Okay, this guy is min 3-betting out of position, which we'll instantly note because that is obviously extremely terrible no matter what cards he has. And we've gone and flopped top 2 on a rainbow board in a 3-bet pot, which is nice. Let's see what he does. Alright, he goes small. We're going to raise him. Obviously, only big bad cards for us on the turn are broadways. 2, 3, 5 obviously make straights, but pretty unlikely straights. We're just going to raise for value and try to get it in here. Obviously, he has some ace, XX, but like we're blocking aces, we're blocking everything, and he just min 3-bet pre. Like if he has aces, it's just like super cooler. All right. Board is dry enough though. Like you could just flat, but like king, queen, jack, and 10 are all pretty bad turn cards, and like start making stuff hairy. So I still think it's worth just raising the takedown there. All right. These are pretty bad kings. You could just fold these honestly to one raise, but I'm gonna flat them in position. Mostly just set mining. Actually, you might have been looking at the wrong table when I was talking about that. My bad. Sorry about that if you did not see what I was talking about. I think it was. Did I switch? I'm not sure. Anyways, and then I'm checking these kings after having raised them pre, and just check folding pretty much is pretty bad board. And then over here, yeah, it's like. I mean, I could call, but like, nah, I'm just gonna fold. And then over here, obviously, is a very easy fold now. He goes 3-bet, and this guy, who we noted as tight, is 4-betting. And we have rainbow kings, like trash, basically. Trash hand. Get out of here, rainbow kings. Get the flock out. Jamming. Oh, he's got a nice rundown, actually. Oh, I would have made king high straight. I would have won with the king high straight. No. Wait, yeah, right. Yeah, he had the under straight. I would have had the king high straight. Man, my bad kings would have won with king 9. Oof. It's alright. Alright, we'll make a note on this guy, though. I think he had like a pretty good rundown. Yeah, queen jack 9, 8. Yeah. 3-bet big with queen jack. Queen jack 9, 8 double suited out of position. Called. Called. Big 4-bet. Open. Jammed. I think it was. What was the flop? It was pretty good for him. Jack 10x, I think, where he had a wrap. Yeah. Into 4-better. Fine-ish. Yeah, I mean it's not too bad how he played that. Like I think it's fine. The 3-bet is questionable out of position. With queen 10 9 8, I think it's better to flat mostly. But also Audi, it was like crazy. Like I thought he was like such a nit, and I mean he had aces there, so like I'm not saying, but like recently he's like just been playing so many hands, and playing them very fast. So I don't know why I thought he was a nit, but maybe he's just like kind of straightforward and not a nit necessarily. That hand was I mean obviously 4-betting aces. That's completely in line with being a nit obviously. But I like just in general I've been seeing him like play a lot of hands recently. Here we have I don't want to this with all these suits. We'll just flat. Could 3-bet on the button. Like if I had like less diamonds, I might do it. But yeah, with these diamonds, I'm just gonna call. 9 is a good card. There's a lot of good turn cards for us. The flop is not good. I'm just gonna bluff though. Like there's not that, like, we have diamonds, so I said there's a lot of good turn cards. There's actually not a lot. There's only a few, like Jack 10 Queen basically. So I'm just gonna bet and turn our hand into a bluff here. And then if we get called, we can still hit Jack 10 or Queen and have a wrap, you know. So like we do have some good turn cards, but we like our immediate equity is bad. He's checking to us and we're heads up, and if we do get check raised, like we don't really mind because we can pretty easily fold because like just our hand at that moment is pretty terrible. But if we get check called, then we're okay because we can turn some decent equity on some things. It's better obviously if you have backdoor flush with that hand. Like if there's one diamond on board, although we have 4 diamonds, so it doesn't really make a difference because it's pretty unlikely to be a diamond on the turn even if there is one on board. Relatively unlikely when you're blocking everything and you've got all your diamonds blocked in your own hand. All right. Steady streaming at the micros. You know how we freaking do. We out here getting this paper. Damn, I'm up to. This session was better than I thought. Even after like I went up like 100, like 4 buy-ins, or actually more, probably like 5 buy-ins because I had also played like tournaments for about 30, so that's like 1 buy-in. Yeah, so I gotten up 5 buy-ins pretty quick, and then like lost it all to that guy in those 2 hands that we talked about earlier, where he like was just like spazzing super hard and like pretty deep stacks, and we got it in good, and lost like both of them for massive pots in spots where he was totally like just spazzing out. Obviously 3 aces are not that great, but this guy can raise fold. I've seen him raise fold like fairly frequently. So I'm gonna 3-bet this, just try to take it down pre actually. Obviously, you don't want to 3-bet with you know, the primary intention of taking down pre too often in PLO, just because it happens so infrequently. But with 3 aces, it's actually one of the better times to do it, especially if you know a guy that will raise fold to 3-bet. Then I've seen him do it, especially out of position when he's out of position. So it's pretty easy. And if he 4-bets, well, we have an easy get in even with 3 aces, because we'll be ahead of whatever he's got. This is interesting. I mean, he has some kings in his range. He has some king queen hands in his range. We're blocking king queen though. So the question is, do we want to bet fold or just check back? I think I'm going to check back and try to control the pot. All right, he doesn't donk turn like after I check back flop. I think he mostly does donk turn with king queen or king king or any 2 pair type hand. So I'm going to bet for protection here / value. Yep. And let's see what happens. I mean, he could get sneaky, right? Like he could get sneaky and say, okay, like I'm gonna double check the kings or queens. Looks like he might have done that, which is reasonable. Like we're blocking queens, pretty dry board. Could do this with Jack 10 9. Like we're blocking Ace Jack 10, which is the big draw. So they're like we're blocking it extremely heavily, obviously, which is, you know, the nutted wrap draw. But Jack 10 9 is like the only other thing. Just most of the time he has kings or king queen here, I think. So or like some random 2 pair. Yeah, I just don't think he's ever check raising there with just like a. I mean, he could do it also with a pair king, like king jack 10, like 9 also, right? Something like that, which we have in pretty bad shape if he has that exact hand. But like anything else, yeah, he was like he was a nit, but in this session I think he just got very tilty and started playing weird. Yeah, strange. I mean, you could check back again, but like I think you're just giving too many free cards at that point with a hand that's very likely to be good. Until he check raises, then it's not that likely to be good. I don't always 3-bet trip aces with hands with 3 aces in them. It was only specifically because I've seen that guy open fold, like raise and then fold to 3-bet. Sometimes I'll just flat fold trip aces to Not that often either, though, especially if I have one suit. Most of the time, I'm still playing it, like at least flatting pre, but I'm three betting it less often, a lot less often, and just playing it to try to keep pots small in position and on for on boards that are good for aces and stuff. This is actually probably a fold. I don't know why I called. Really, my bad. Yeah, same hand with suited to the ace. You definitely could play, but like it's just pretty trashy. Now we have the ace of spades, which makes it interesting because there's a spade draw out there, and we can represent the straight spade draw, so we're going to. And then over here, we've got a nice, decently nice rundown. Not double suited, but playable. We're raising over a limper. Flop a queen high flush draw. The 10 is a very key card. We don't want to get check raised on this board. We're going to see bet smallish. And if they do check raise, we'll float once. Okay. Okay, now we make the queen high flush. Okay, back on this board, we get called and we bink an ace. I think I'm going to keep going just in case like the spades come, and to also bluff out like non-nutted spades. Okay, and then here we're going to just check back with our queen high flush. Okay, he called us on the turn with our ace, and now the top board card pairs, which is interesting because I've been repping like two pair or something, or a big draw. But now he could easily have a 9 the way he's played the hand, so like it's pretty worrisome. Here we're just going to check back with the queen high flush on a paired board, and probably win. Okay, and then back over here, I think we're just going to check back and have some showdown. Not great, but like he has a lot of draws too. Yeah, I mean like he does have a lot of draws. So yeah, it's reasonable. And there's nothing, I can't imagine anything worse that calls us. So like ace, like random. Sometimes people do make weird calls with like ace jack or like ace 10 or ace 9. When the 10 or the 9 or the jack are just kickers. You know what I mean? Like in spots where they can't beat anything, or can't beat any value. I mean, it's not like that's not always that weird, right? Like sometimes it's like, okay, I have a bluff catching hand, and basically any ace is as good as like any other, like ace. Any ace is almost as good as ace king because the guy you're playing against won't be value betting ace king on certain boards. You know what I mean? So it's not always like that weird. But I'm just talking about when bad players are just calling because they just don't know the value of their hand. This hand is pretty garbage. I like ISOing limpers in position pretty wide, but in that position, two people in position behind me, I think I'm just gonna fold. Alright, we defend this against a min raise in the big, and we flop top 2 against Maxim, who is he's bad of some kind, but I don't know what kind. I'm actually going to donk into him, and we'll see what happens. Okay, he snap folds. That sucks. We wanted action there. Mixing it up some. Gonna be signing off soon, fellas. I know I keep saying that, but session's still going, so I figure might as well keep you in the loop on what's going on. Opening this decent hand on the button. Our suit is not that great, obviously. I'll let you know what happens there, but this is actually better. We raise from the small and we flop a full wrap, so we're happy about that. We're gonna see that and not fold. Okay. And then here we get 3-bet by a pretty short stack. Like I would defend this pretty often, but okay. And it says he like limp calls all the time. Like I don't see him 3-betting much here. I'm just gonna fold with only one pot size bet behind. We would have flopped like on a board like this. What do we do? You know what I mean? And I just think he has aces a fair amount. Let's see if he does have aces. He's tanking on this board, so apparently not. Damn. Alright, I was wrong. But still, it's like hard to play that in that spot, especially with the guy behind us. This we can flat. Flop a gutter and middle pair. Not really too much going on, but we're in position. And we don't have any backdoor clubs. He only goes half. We can float here. And if we hit a jack, we have a pretty strong hand. A jack or a queen.
for actual value hands. And then sometimes we can just get to showdown against, like sometimes you just betting with air essentially on the flop, and we can get to showdown. But most of the time at this point, I expect him to have like some kind of king, and this is not really a great board to try to rep anything. So I'm just gonna see if the queen is good. Yeah, there it is. There's the king. Like that's not really a great board for kings, but also like once I check back turn, for a king, like with no two pair or anything. Once I check back turn, it's just hard to represent that card on the river. Okay. This is blind versus blind. We double suited. I should have raised this probably over a complete in the small. I'm gonna check back now though. 5 spades, not great. I'm just gonna bet. Just gonna bet. See if we get him to fold whatever equity he has. He can definitely call with flush draws that are behind us currently. Like any flush draw. And he can call with some, like, yeah. I mean, we just get him to fold a lot there, which is fine. Just semi-bluff. Even though, and also, like, our hand is pretty likely to be the best hand at that point. It's not a great hand, especially out of position. I think I'm just going to fold it against the raise. Oh, wow. We flopped top 2, and no, we flopped 3 pair and been blocking straight draw with our 3 pair. This kind of sucks. I mean, because it's like an okay hand to play in position, out of position, not as much. So, but it's like sucks when you. I mean, it's like obviously being results oriented, but I think it's a good fold pre out of position against a full 3x open. I overflatted here just because it looked like we were going to get some hot and heavy multi-way action. And we go ahead and flop the nut flush draw with nothing to go with it though. With this guy is, and we have no pair. He's short. We're not going to fold to his turn shove no matter what. It's better to try to keep these guys in with worse draws than try to isolate against him at this point. We want action obviously with our flush draw. 5 is not the greatest, especially for like because of what King 6-4-1-5 might have. I think that Love Kush is a lot more likely to have either 3-4 somehow, or aces, or kings or something like that. So I'm just gonna check back. I don't think he's folding any of those though for 7, for one pot size bet. So I don't think it's a great spot to semi bluff because I do think King 6-4-1-5 has a fair number of like 5 deuce, 5-6 hands in his range. Although now he doesn't, and all we have is a deuce for our showdown, which sucks. But yeah, it's just gonna look pretty suspect if we try to bluff here. I think so I'm just gonna check it down. Sadly, lose to. Oh yes, top fold. See, I swear the 5 hit this guy's range really hard, and I was just very like confused why he hadn't bet like the river. Like the turn, I could see like maybe he was trapping, right? But then I'm like, why didn't he lead the river if he hit like his 6-5 or 5-2, which are kind of like the hands he's most likely to have, those kinds of hands, or 5-4-3 or something like that. Not 5-4-3. Like I think you check raise straight a fair amount. But yeah, but turned out our read was like dead on. He literally had not only a 5, he had the top full, and like he has sets obviously, like because sometimes in addition to 2 pair hands. And sure enough, he had top set and was trapping. Thank you for showing the world my great checks. I'm glad that you all got to see me check so well against that guy in a spot where I could easily try to turn, or could easily be tempted to turn my hand into a bluff. Okay, here we go. Flop top full here. We're blocking nut flush draw. There's not much you can call with here. It's actually okay to check that back, but also like when we have our pure bluffs or our like say like Jack 10, 8-7 or something that we're c-betting on that board, we want folds, we need to balance our semi-bluffing hands with actually having value, like and including like strong value, or else like our c-bets are just super weak if we start check, like if every time we flop full or very strong we just start checking back. And for our strategy, I think we see bet like a solid amount, especially at these stakes, because people like wrongly fold a lot. Um, so and don't get too tricky with like check raise bluffing very often and everything. So if we're gonna have lots of c bets, which I think we should, then we need lots of we need our value in our c betting range as well, and not just for not weighting it towards bluffs by checking like very strong hands in position. But you do need checkbacks with strong hands too, because you're gonna have lots of boards you're checking back you're weak as well. So you do need to check back some strong hands sometimes. So it's not unreasonable to do occasionally. But I'm saying my strategy is more weighted towards c betting fairly often in heads up pots and especially on dry boards, and so then therefore I also want my strong hands in my c betting range there. Most of the time. Most of the time. Alright, I'm going to end this recording now, finally, and we'll see how it actually comes out. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Share with your friends. Do all of those things that are great. Actually, we've got one more second, because we've got aces on this table, and we've got aces on this table. So we're going to raise over these limpers, obviously, on the button. And over here, what will we do? Okay, he's opening, so we're probably 3-betting here. It would be good to see a 3-bet in front of us. Obviously, that would be nice. But either way, we're probably going to 3-bet. All right, with a flat, we're going to 3-bet. All right. And up here, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we get limp re-raised. After these 2 aces, then we'll be done, for sure. Okay, only one guy called our 3-raise. Our 3-bet over here. Interesting. Pretty dry board came out. I'm going to go ahead and we're blocking like the 5-7 type hands that would possibly check raise. So we're just going to see bet. This is a very I'll let you know what happens there. He just snap folds. Okay, now this is a very good board for our hand, obviously. 3 is the only thing that gets there against us. I'm going to see bet. There are hearts that will call us. If we get check raised, it's going to mostly be 3s, and we can puke fold. Sometimes it'll be like king with hearts or something, and we'll make a bad fold, but the vast majority of the time, if we get check raised there, it'll be a 3. So just go ahead and bet there and try to just take it down. Alright, so that was a very successful session. I forget how much I had on these tables when we started the table, but like I know I definitely like went up on all of the tables quite a bit. So worked out pretty well. You guys take it easy. Come back, holler at me. Let me know what you think of the content. Like and subscribe. Check me out on Twitch. Holla at your boy. And peace out after this hand. We binked the nuts on the turn, baby. Bink the nuts. Very wet board, but we're blocking the 9, so like we're not very likely for him to have us, especially when he's betting that size. It's very unlikely that we both have 9-8. So I'm not going to let him blocker bet his way to a cheap draw. So we're just going to raise him here. Going to be tricky to play rivers though. Obviously he snaps just calls. Interesting. Spades get there, but he's more likely to have clubs. But also he could bluff this river. It's kind of gross. Okay, well that's fairly easy to call. Let's see what he actually had. And we take it down. Okay, he had 3 cards, like he's just playing really bad. Alright, and now, like I said, everything I just said, awesome. Take it easy. Peace out, homies. See you later.